hello, everyone. We have a guest today on Kimbology. This guy is fucking hilarious, guys. His name is Matt Torres, and I asked him to come on the show because I thought, I need funny people. I need men to listen to my podcast, and he's hilarious. Why the fuck not? And he's in the same realm as acting and stand-up, and he's a comedian. So I'll let him introduce himself. Say hi, Matt, people.
Hello, I'm Matt Torres. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Kim. How's it going?
Hi. Yeah, if you guys are watching the visuals, he's sipping on a nice, wonderful mug of tea where I have a glass of wine. So
I'm trying to do that sober November.
And I respect it. Because I actually don't really drink anymore. I just smoke, really, honestly. So I respect
Well, what I do is I normally start like an earlier month and I keep failing until I get it right. So like last year, I tried to do September and I failed, and I tried to do October and I failed in November and December. I didn't make it all the way till January is like the first time I made it through.
So you're trying to, you have 2 more months to make this, to do it. So you got 2 more months of November or December. You're going to fuck it up, or you got 1 more month after this? How you doing?
I'm like, I got 5 more days or something?
Yeah, you're going to make it. You're going to fucking make it.
Yeah. Well, you've known me since I was like a lot younger, so I feel like we lived some hard years. So I'm trying to.
You know what? It has been a while. Yes. So the reason, so Matt and I know each other. It's been a long time though, but I've always kept kind of up to date with you because we're friends on social and all that stuff. You actually dated one of my really close best friends. And so I'm like, but you're always so cool, and like everybody's like cordial and gets along. So, and
yeah, she's cool. You know what makes me feel old is we haven't dated for like over a decade.
Fuck, holy shit! It's been a long time, and you've been married now for a while now too, right?
Yeah. I've been married for 5 years.
Congrats. That's awesome. Your wife is she's so cute. She's so beautiful and cute. I don't even know her, but I always was like we talk about it. We're like, oh my God, Matt's wife is like so sweet and like pretty. Like, I don't know. I don't know her. Like, I don't even know her, but I don't know why I just get that from her. Am I wrong? Is she not? Is she a bitch? Like, no. Am I wrong?
I married up. So like,
yes.
I just locked it in. I used to be like a lot skinnier and better looking. I was just like, I gotta lock this in right now, and then let myself be.
You guys look really happy, and I saw you guys dress up for Halloween. You guys were cute. Like she was Wednesday. Halloween. She was Wednesday, right? Yeah, that was cute.
And I was Pugsley. See, that shows
Pugsley, right? I couldn't remember the name. I was like, you were that one guy, the
fat brother of
the fat brother. Nice, very nice. Well, guys, Matt's joining us for the episode today, and he's a super interesting guy, and I want him to kind of just like tell a little bit about himself, but we're gonna go and dive a little bit deeper and like ask him some questions. But yeah, Matt, like, so why are you on my show? Like, why the fuck do people care that I'm talking to you?
I hope they do. I don't know. I do stand up. That's probably like my primary thing. I have done like some acting work like you have. I know you've done here and there. I feel like I hate to put myself in a box. I'm just like an entertainer of sorts. It's always weird when people ask like, you know how like, I don't know, just when people like, are you an actor? But like, I'm more than just
Right.
Yeah.
Skirt, I'm everything. Get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
I want to be everything. I wish I could.
Right?
I wish I could live a million lives and do it.
Matt, you know what I see you as, and like this is probably gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, but I can see you being like one of those guys that like made it huge on like Superbad or like 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like those, I can see that. I don't know why, like, because I don't even know you like that close in that sense, but I've always seen like you just being one of those guys that like does like a Superbad movie or does like a 40-Year-Old Virgin movie, and then like I'm gonna be like, fuck, I know that dude, like, and then we're gonna both be in that, realm.
If that happens, I'll do this podcast again and we'll blow up.
Hell fucking yeah, for sure. I can see it. I'm actually manifesting it and speaking it into existence. How do you like that?
That's actually a real thing.
It is, isn't it? You believe in that too? Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. I fucks with you.
Like a funny story. So I mean, it's not a funny story, but it's like a weird story that's related to that. Is so when I was younger, I wasn't that much younger, but I was like in my mid-20s. One time I saw Jay Leno, right? And so like I went up and talked to him, and I'm like, oh, I do stand up and blah blah blah. And he was just like, oh, cool. And like, I gave him my card, and he actually like watched my video and then called me back.
Shut up.
Yeah. And we talked about it, and like, we like ran over it. And then, so like, it was like, that was like, at the time I was like, yeah, I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. So I get a little older. I think I was like in my early 30s. I saw like Conan O'Brien, and I thought to myself, like, I shouldn't talk to him. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I've changed. So like, I need to, like, you need to keep that top confidence. Like, it's hard, but it was funny because like, the 5 or 6 year difference I had, like, I don't know why. I was like, I hated myself afterwards. I'm like, why am I not as confident? That's when I was a young
dude. I mean, shit, we haven't talked in years. I'm sure I'm much fucking different. And like, yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I would be. Like, the Kimbo from 10 years ago is like so different from now, you know? Like, I was the type of girl that didn't want to leave. I didn't want to sleep on like my friend's bed after a drunken night because I was like, no, I want a good night's sleep. So I'm gonna drive home like drunk as fuck. Like, I hated that about myself. And then I fucking started traveling the world. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
that's super like a shameful thing we did, huh? Like,
why? Like driving home? I know.
Man, because
how many times do we do that? Like,
yeah, I would like little younger people in my family be like, oh man, that's crazy. Like, what'd you guys do before Uber? I'm like, the person who drank the least
would drive.
would
yeah. And I was like that bitch that was like, nah, I'm going home to be in my bed, even though I'd be fucked up, which is so bad. I mean, thankfully, not, you know, I'm still here today, but yeah, that's like shitty as shit. But yeah, we didn't have Uber back then, and no taxi was gonna be around Wicker Park in Chicago to fucking drive us home. Like, fuck out of here.
And we need to grow up. I mean, so like, we can't. I always tell people, like, you can't penalize yourself for, like, I mean, if it's really horrible, I guess, but like, you're allowed to grow. And now we know that was bad. And so now, if we know we're gonna get trashed, we get an Uber.
Right. Like, that's the least you can do. Well, nowadays, you know, ain't nobody the fuck going out. So, I mean, there's going out and then driving around in your car, maybe. But, you know, there it is. It is what it is.
Has it really affected you a lot? Not being well?
Dude, this, like, it was actually like, it was, I mean, like, the quarantine, I'm sure, hit everyone. The pandemic hit everybody. And I feel like if you didn't go through a huge, significant, like, life-altering change or perspective on life, then what the fuck is wrong with you? That's kind of how I feel. Because if you're not, how are you not affected by the entire world shutting down? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's affected somebody in it had to. And if it didn't, I kind of like question your values and your morals and you as a person, because it had to affect you. It had to have, you know? And maybe it did, maybe it affected you in a positive way. Maybe it affected you in a negative way. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of positive. I've seen a lot of positive, more than the negative. What about you?
Do you live in the suburbs? I don't know what you're doing right now.
I live on space. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Right now, yeah.
For me, so like, so I grew up in the city, and then I wanted to like live in the city. I still live in the city. I live in Pilsen right now.
Okay.
And so the suburbs look like a great idea to me now. Like,
and you never thought you would?
No, I always just thought, like, I'm always going to be cool and I'm never going to need that. But then I go to my cousin's house. We're in the suburbs, and they have these huge yards, and they're out there playing and drinking and doing whatever they want because they have like the size of a house yard. And then like I'm here in my little concrete square with my dog, like peeing on the floor and then running back to my house. It's like,
perspective.
The suburbs look way cooler now. Or I don't know, or maybe that's because we're getting older too. I mean,
true. Do you want to have children?
That clock's ticking too, right?
Yeah. No, you asked me in my early teens and 20s, like, oh, you don't have kids? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna have like 3 kids and a white picket fence. Now, knowing how much them hoes cost, I don't know.
18 grand. I think it's 8. I'm probably wrong, but I think it's 18 grand a year to raise an American child. Yeah, so it adds up.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of fucking money to, like, you know, and then the world's fucking, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm huge on sustainability. So if the world doesn't get their shit together and start caring about our planet, why am I going to bring a child in when I know the world's going to end? I don't know. That's just my perspective.
You're a little younger than me though, I think.
31. What about you?
Oh, you're 31? So, I mean, I'm 34. So you got like...
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You have like around a decade to figure it out. That's a long time.
Nah, not even the woman's body clock tells us 35 is what you should like freak the fuck out at. Like they say that at 35 you are gonna start having like issues, and like you're pregnant, like you might, the risks of having like a child with autism and all that shit increases immensely. And I'm like, fuck. Like I got 4 years.
Do you have a partner or a spouse? Or
I have a partner, yeah. Like, and we've been together for like 2 years, so.
Oh, 2 years. So then, like, maybe.
Yeah.
Have some
No,
babies.
yeah, no. That's the old man. He's gonna be with me forever. I'm locking his ass down, but you know.
No, maybe that's your baby factor. Like,
oh, right. True. And he's older than me too. He's 39, so.
Oh, so he's ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's ready. Oh, yeah. He's ready. But we're not ready.
That's how me and my wife were, because we met like super young. So like when I was like 24, I was like, no way, I'll never have a kid. 25, never. It just kept.
Oh,
and then,
really?
Like, around like the 30s, I was just like, if it happens, you know, like, I don't know.
If one slips through the crack, you know, whatever, like, you know.
My guys, you know, who knows what they could do.
Right? Well, you're Mexican, right? You're Mexican, right?
I am part Mexican, yeah.
What are you?
I'm Mexican, Guatemalan, and Irish.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were like, okay. All right. Well, I would say that Mexican sperm is strong, so, you know, it might
Mexican womb.
True.
They're a fertile
is your wife Mexican too?
She's 100%.
Okay, she's Mexican. Okay.
She calls me fake Mexican all the time.
She's like, you're Caucasian Mexican, so no.
So like by our house, there's so like you know about Pilsen and stuff or whatever.
Yeah. My friend Jell's lived in Pilsen for years. She's still in there. She's still in Pilsen.
I see her at the grocery store.
Oh, shut the fuck up! Really?
I saw her at Aldi's. So if she's watching.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love Angelica. She's great. What was I saying?
You were talking about living in Pilsen, and I was saying.
That's an old man thing too. When you
no, that's also if you smoke a lot of weed thing, because I can't remember shit anymore. Like,
you ever bring something into another room and then you stand there and you're like, what am I doing?
Yes. I literally did that earlier because I went downstairs to see, because I'm starting to get ready for Christmas. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get down here and get my Christmas cards. Got down there and was like, why am I here? Like, why am I here? My cat's looking at me like, girl. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. And then like, it sucks. Scary. It happens all the time. Yeah. Well, I mean, Matt, like, you're fucking cool as fuck. And
thanks. You're super cool.
Yeah, you're like the first guest, kind of, really, in a sense that it's not really like a close friend of mine. So congrats to that. But you're also in the industry, you know, you're an actor, comedian, and you have a really cool story, and I kind of want to dive into that a little bit. So I'm going to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, I like questions. I'm going to try to be honest.
Yes, don't lie. Okay, cool. No, so the first one was like, you already told us how, like, who you are and like what you do. And then like we already kind of like dived into like, well, actually no, we didn't. When was the last time we saw each other? And that's like the first question is, when is the last time you saw each other? And I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was little Vanessa's wedding.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
I have a video of you.
Okay. What am I doing?
I should give it to you. Maybe you could like put it in here or something.
Oh, fuck yeah. What am I doing in the video? Am I drunk and like dancing or something?
Like booty shaking, then you kind of do like,
God, of course
like
I am.
A split thing, and you're kind of like super crazy.
3, 2, 1, go!
Crazy now. I was like, I gotta document this.
You're like, this is good content right here. This is good content. Shut the fuck up, Matt. You do not have fucking video of me at a wedding twerking it up a storm.
So I had a bunch of like little videos I made of Vanessa's wedding, and so like I'll just keep it in private and I like upload it to YouTube so I could just have tons of videos on my phone. And as I was doing it, I was like, I gotta really put this private. I don't know if she wants this online, but it's rated PG.
Care. You know I don't care. I got I pole danced for 7 years. My ass is all over the internet. Whatever.
Yeah, weren't you like in a pole dancing scene on like an Empire or something like that?
Yeah, I did like a few. I was in Chicago PD, and then you know the show Southside on Comedy Central.
2 cowboys for the rodeo, chief. Oh yeah, we in here. Look inside, and you'll find what you're trying to find. You just gotta look inside, and you'll find.
Familiar, yeah, with the Chicago. It's a Chicagoans too. Like these guys, the twin guys that are from Chicago. It's really good. It's gonna be on HBO Max. Their pilot episode. I was in a trap house and I was stripping for the men.
I was in that show too.
What the fuck, you were?
Yeah, so it's actually I could send you the video. It's really weird.
I would love to see it.
So they asked me if I could juggle. So am I, the Casting Network's website where you put like all your special skills?
Yes.
So I could juggle, which I can juggle.
Okay.
So then they like the production from Southside sent me a video to like prove it, like make a video of you juggling. So I sent a video of my juggling. They're like, juggle something else. And so I juggled oranges. And they're like, juggle something else. And so I was like juggling stuff I could find. Then they sent me a thing to juggle shoes. And then so I have a video of me juggling shoes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
All right, I'm gonna try juggling these shoes. Oh, here we go. That's about it. Then in the episode, I've never seen the episode. I mean, hopefully I'm in there, but I'm assuming the main character guy comes in. He's supposed to be like, because they're from the South Side. They moved. Yeah. They're like walking on a date in the North Side, and I'm juggling shoes. So it's supposed to be hipstery that I'm like juggling shoes in front of the bar.
Okay. That is so fucking random. I love that.
It is, yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know if you're familiar, but there's a lot of, because one of he was in the first episode, his name is Jeremy. He's like, he has a role on the show, but he was kind of keeping me up to date on that. And I think they're kind of dealing with a lot of like uncertainties on like where to shoot, where to, because they're supposed to finish go and start shooting the second season, but they were gonna film here and they're not anymore. So I think that unfortunately has a lot of like questionable, like for example, like the pilot episode that I was supposed to like that the pole dancing scene, they weren't even sure if they were gonna have it in there, and I was like, you guys better fucking have it in there because that shit is like dope. But yeah, there was a lot of like, there's still a lot of questionable things about, and I know one of the ADs on the show, and they were gonna film and then they stopped. Like they're not gonna film probably because of COVID. So, but I really do fucking hope that I see you, and that'd be so cool. It's like that's super hipster. Come on, juggling shoes.
Yeah. It was in front of the bar, and then the main character asked me if he could like juggle my shoes, and I like give my shoes to him, and he tries to juggle them. He just throws them and keeps walking.
I love it. I live. That's perfect. Okay, yeah. Cool. I really hope I see you juggling shoes.
have you done any auditions since like this started, or?
Yeah, I actually had one this week. Or no, was it last week? Fuck, days are already like meshing. No, it was like early last week. And it was a commercial, and they were gonna shoot it. They were gonna film or shoot it in Utah. So you're gonna fly me out and all this shit. But I don't think I got it because I haven't heard anything. But I was like, it was like for like bras, like, so I was like talking about my titties. So I was like, I hope I get this, and like I haven't heard anything. But it's just like, obviously that's actually one of our questions, Matt. So maybe I should just like ask you about that because it's in the actual content. I know I'm trying to stay on schedule here, structure, even though I suck at it. I know, I just like talk on a tangent, Well, we'll talk about acting a little bit later, but I'm really curious about this, Matt, because I just been wondering about it. So I noticed that you were in the army, or were you in the military? You were in the military of some sort. And I saw that you recently posted like you photo in Iraq. So like, how was that experience? What were you in? Were you in the Army, the Navy, the Marines? And like, how the fuck was that? You were a Marine. Okay. Like how does a Marine go from that, like being in Iraq as a Marine, to being a stand-up comedian, like an actor? Like how? Like tell me your story.
Well, the transition part, it's kind of like even like you like traveling and stuff. Once you see like a lot more of the world, you realize that you could really do anything you want to do. Like, people who like, I don't want to use Chicago people as an example, but just people who in general who like never left where they're from. I feel like they have a smaller world view. Now, when you see the world, you're like, man, there's like, you could do anything. Like literally, like you could, like if you really want to do it, you could just do it. So I just felt like, I don't know. I was like, man, I can do jokes and stuff. Like, like I make people laugh. I could go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's stopping me?
So you were in the Marines, and how many years were you in the Marines for?
6. So I was in the reserves, and then I got activated a whole bunch of times. I went to Iraq. I just went to a whole bunch of little Brazil and
Oh, dope.
Morocco, and
Nice.
I picked up. So I went like right when after, like not too long after 9/11 when I signed up. So like it was a very active time for the military.
Yeah,
So
I was about to say. Yeah,
I think
they
I
use
met
your
you
ass a
right
lot.
when I got back, right?
What was that?
I think I met you right when I got back.
Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, because I don't remember you in that process. Like I saw photos of you there, and I was like, oh shit, like you were fucking in Iraq, like you were in the military. Like I had no idea, because like I always met you and you were just like this playful, funny guy, and I don't know. I guess I associate like, military people as really like stern and tough and just like not funny. I don't know why, but yeah, I just didn't picture
used to be
you.
like that.
Did you really?
I think it's just like the people. I mean, do you know any military guys?
In high school, I had like a boyfriend that went into like the reserve. But I did watch him transition though. I did watch him go from like this like funny, like playful guy to kind of this like serious, like fucked up dude. So I don't know.
It does change like who you are a little bit, and then like I feel like when I came back to Chicago, I kind of like went back to myself.
Okay.
So I kind of just I voted like Republican once. I voted for John McCain.
Why?
He was a good Republican. He was a war hero. I was sold. I mean, I'm being honest.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Wasn't he the running mate against Obama?
Yeah, the first. So I voted against Obama the first time. I was 2008. I could lie. I'm just telling you how it was.
Oh, the shade of it all. Wow, you voted against the black man.
Well, John McCain, everyone loved John McCain. Obama loved John McCain.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they?
Look it up.
Okay.
When John McCain died, Obama was like, he was like one of the greatest Republicans of all time and stuff. He was like super.
Wow.
John McCain like fought Trump. Like McCain's like.
Really I do know that he doesn't like Trump. I didn't, or did because he passed away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a war hero. I was like, it was prime. I was like, I'm gonna vote for McCain.
And you a Marine dude, so you're like, I fucks with you. I fucks with you, white man.
And then I think that the second person Obama ran against like sucks. So then I voted for Obama the second time.
Yeah, who did he? Was it Kerry? Was that the
John Kerry, right?
Yeah, yeah. He wasn't like still. Yeah, I barely remembered his name.
If that's not right, you need to edit this out so we don't look stupid.
I know, right? Whoops, we're way smarter than this, guys. We're really intelligent people. Yeah, right, Bob Dole.
I don't know.
Bob Dole invented the internet. Not kidding.
I was like making a joke because somebody was talking about Bob Dole, and I was like, "Oh, Bob Dole," and everyone else was like, "Who's Bob Dole?"
Oh, they're young, right? Because then they can't remember him.
I was like, "Oh man, I'm getting old."
I know. Seriously, because I got my dancer and I was taking this dance class, and this was like last week, and I literally was in the room, and like I'm sure you can also like agree, like we don't have the mindset of like an old person, because we're just like, yeah, we're young, well, I'm over here like I'm young, whatever, and I fucking look around the room, and like I noticed that like the other girls dancing in the fucking room are like 15 years old, and I'm like, I am more than twice the age of these kids.
But you're still doing it. You're still working it.
I mean, my knees be cracking and shit in class, and I was just like, why? It's like, it shows. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's why, because I'm old in this world now. Yay.
Not yet, though. I feel like we still have, like, this is, so this is like our plateau. We're going to be, like, great for a while, I think.
You know what? And I see, like, the celebs, like I see like Taraji P. Henson, who's like fucking 50 years old. I see J-Lo, who's 50. Like, and I'm like, you know what? Yes, I could be a bad bitch even when I'm like 50 or 60 years old. So I'm like optimistic. Plus,
you're staying pretty fit. I've been trying to like get fit. You look pretty fit.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Matt. Like this quarantine shit, your girl was eating and cooking. So yeah, it sucks.
I was at the beginning, and then I just started feeling like so gross. So like,
yeah,
I've been working out a lot.
Are you going to the gym?
No, I actually bought an elliptical for my house.
You know what? We're gonna buy like a bike. That way we could like bike at home, because we used to bike a lot in the summer, but it's like fuck, it's too cold. So I respect that. Yeah. You're not fat, Matt. Relax. You're not big.
Tell me how beautiful I am.
You're so good looking, Matt. Oh my
I
god.
always pretend like I don't like it. When people are like, "You're not fat," I'm like, "Shut up."
Right? You're just like, you go home, you look in the mirror, you're like, I'm cuddly
Uh,
cute. I'm cuddly cute. Listen, women will, my girls, we know, like if a man's a good man and he's more so if he's funny, you could be fat as shit and you will still get pussy. Because funny men will go far. Like if you're if you're confident and you're, you know, whatever, like you can get a badass bitch, no problem. Now, if it's the vice versa, if the woman was fat and hilarious, she's in the friend zone. Come on now.
unless she's rich.
True.
Yeah,
Because if
because
she's
like,
balling, then that's a different story.
what's that one big comedian? I mean, she's not big, but she's kind of big. I forgot what her name is. She was in
She
Precious.
white or black? Oh,
Black.
Gabourey Sidibe.
The mother.
What are you talking about? Wait, from Precious? Oh, Monique.
Yeah.
Oh, Monique.
Yeah, Monique. I'll get with Monique.
Really? Oh, but she lost a lot of weight though. She did lose a lot of weight.
I'll get with any size Monique. She's an Oscar winner. She's a millionaire.
True.
I'll get with Precious.
Yeah, you know what? And she's got so much drama because like, you know that she recently called out like Tyler Perry because she claims this is allegedly, guys, don't come for me. Allegedly, I think she claimed that Tyler Perry like was trying to blacklist her, like in the, you know.
I think that's a real thing.
I do think it's a real thing.
Like Will Smith, I think he was the reason why Vivian or the real Vivian didn't get any more work.
Did you see that they had the reunion on HBO Max?
Yeah, I loved it. It was the best.
Yeah. So he actually was on. Are you familiar with Red Table Talk? That's Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah. So he went on Red Table Talk and it was the original Aunt Viv was on there and they talked about it and they discussed it. And she talked about how she was pregnant at the time and she was in a bad marriage and she was going through a lot of bullshit at home. And so so Aunt Viv was on the show and with Red Table Talk and like she was like telling him like, you fucking ruined my life. You blacklisted me. Because, you know, at the time, Will Smith was this 21-year-old little asshole that thought his shit don't stink. And yeah, he didn't realize all the bullshit she was going through. And he like apologized on the episode. It was like really good. So yeah, you should watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I believe her too is like, I hate to always talk about like race stuff or whatever. And I don't want to compare races, but like me and my wife always say is, so like, if like a white person like does something, a lot of times they get the benefit of the doubt. Like, if you go to the grocery store in your pajamas and your t-shirt, when girls do it, it's kind of like, oh, look at her, blah, blah, blah. But like if like a Latino person does or a black person does, they're ghetto automatically.
Oh, as fuck.
Yeah. So I feel like as soon as they said she was difficult, they're like, no.
And she did say that she's like, I was the dark-skinned black woman in the 90s. So, you know, there was no Me Too movement back then and all that bullshit, you know, so they very quickly was just like, bitch, fuck out of here. You're replaceable. And they replaced her with the light-skinned Viv.
Yeah, and then when other people are difficult, they're like prestigious.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt really bad, you know, and like it's like great that they were able to like you know, fix things or whatever, reconcile. But I guess that's what's Monique. That's what she's That's what she's talking about. She's like, okay, so Will Smith apologized to you know, original Aunt Viv. Where's my apology, Tyler Perry? Where is it?
Oh wow.
So we'll see. Because Tyler Perry. He's what?
Tyler Perry's not apologizing.
Nah.
People
like, I'm best friends with
Oprah. Like,
what did you say?
A lot of people who don't know, like they're not in the end. They don't know like Tyler Perry's like got like he has his own production studio. Like they just think, oh, Tyler Perry movies, and they like some people just like wave him off. Like he made those with his own movie theater and stuff. Like all that money is his money. He's not splitting it up.
No, he like he's like known for like being the only writer for all of his like stuff, and he won't hire writers, so all of his shit is just like because he doesn't want to like it's like you said, he owns all his shit and like built like the fucking like Taj Mahal in like, you know, Atlanta, where there's like I don't know, I forgot how many like studios he has in Tyler Perry Studios. It's like sickening, it's like crazy. And like they filmed part of like Black Panther there, and it's like he's amazing and he's a billionaire and he's like, I respect the fuck out of him.
That's a good business move.
Oh fuck yeah. It's like, okay, you know what? If white people aren't gonna give me the space to be creative, I'm gonna make a space. and you guys are going to be knocking at my door to use my space. And that's exactly what he did.
Some comedians do that now, and it works out really well for them. So like if you're like a new comedian and you have like a hot streak and you get like a special, whoever put your special on, whether it be like Netflix, Hulu, whatever, they get like this huge cut of it. But some comedians who already kind of get like a little bit of like a fan base, they'll just put it on their own website. So like getting 100% of like $100,000 is like way better than getting like 25% of like 500,000.
That's so real. That's so real.
Yeah.
Cause like, did you see how Dave Chappelle, you know, like addressed that on SNL? How he was like, yeah, you know that the Chappelle show is on Netflix and HBO Max, and I'm not getting a penny from that. It's like, the fuck?
That's crazy.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I can't believe that. I'm just like, oh man. Well, thankfully, like, so great segue. You just mentioned, you know, stand-up comedian. Let's talk about that. So you are a stand-up comedian, right? So that's what you've been doing. How many years have you been performing as a stand-up comedian, and what is it like in this day and age with this pandemic? Like, how the fuck does that work?
Around like 8 years or something like that. I think you were like at one of my first couple of shows at those bar shows.
Yeah.
It's super hard. So when it first happened, people try to do Zoom shows, but like nobody really watches that, and it's hard to make money because most of the time in real life you make money off of alcohol. So like,
okay, I see.
so like, you know how you'll see something, I'm sure I've sent you a million of them, but you'll see something like free comedy show. Like the way they're paying the comedians is through alcohol, not through the tickets.
Interesting. So you're not actually getting paid to be there. You're just, or like you get some money from the sales of the liquor that they sell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically. I mean, not all the time, but most of the time what they do is they just give you a piece of the bar. So like, that's how it's free.
Interesting.
So if there's no bars or no comedy clubs, then I don't know.
Fuck. So yeah.
A bunch of comedy clubs went out of business during this time.
Yeah, which ones?
So like some big ones, IO went bankrupt, and they're like.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, the Improv. I did hear about that actually. That fucking sucks. I was actually gonna take some classes there and shit. That's crazy.
They'll probably get bought by like Target or something, so you can take classes still. Because there's the name's still really popular. And
IO.
so,
yeah. Is it like kind of like like, you know, like Second City, like in that sense, like, you know, like
Second City is gonna sell too, because I think they can afford to pay for their stuff too.
What do you mean Second City is gonna sell? Like, how does that work?
So the lady who owns IO, you can look it up. Her name's Sharna Halpern. So like they'll probably just keep the names, but a company will own those.
Oh, instead of a person.
Yeah. So it's kind of sad. It's like the end of a time.
Yeah. That's
like
fucked up.
Like when a company buys an apartment building from a person, like it loses its character.
For sure. And then it gets very corporate. It's like, okay, you have these rules, you can't make these jokes or something. That's gonna suck. I hope. Gross. It's crazy. I mean, it's wild because it's like, yes, like we're starting to see these trends or like these businesses. Like, I mean, have you driven down like downtown Chicago and seen like how many places are now shut down or like boarded up? It's like eerie as fuck, right? It's like crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty sad actually. I've done like a lot of outside shows. That's still a thing since this started. But it's getting cold. And I've done a few indoor ones where we kind of like followed the rules, but then like the rules became so strict that like there wasn't enough people to have the show. So and now we can't do anything indoors again. So we're going to that whole cycle starting over again. Yeah,
I know. We're going to go back to how it was in March. Like everything was like closed, and I know I'm like worried about people's mental health. Like I feel like the short-term effects are really like the short-term, you know, struggles, like they're right away like, okay, yes, I don't have as much money, but the long-term effects of this pandemic is going to like, you know, be so like, it's going to be it's instilled in us for years. And it's like, I'm worried because like, you know, is this going to keep us from being, you know, social with one another? Is it going to keep us from just being very cold to one another and like, you know, oh, don't touch me, or 6 feet? And it's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. And then like with comedy, it's like, you know, I did see that, you know, like the outdoor, like I did see like, what was it, Bill Burr, like, or not Bill, Hannibal Buress. He did that. He started the whole like drive-through comedy show and shit, and I heard it was pretty successful.
Chappelle did his special out. He did David Letterman outside.
I saw that episode. It was great. I love David.
That was one of my favorite ones too. Kevin Hart did his last special at his house.
Yes. Okay.
So
I
that's
love
pretty
it.
cool.
I love to
I
see
mean,
it.
people are figuring it out, but I feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, the vaccine, hopefully that'll come and me and you will
Yeah.
be back to being wild again.
Yeah, I know. We can be out in these streets, touching each other, fucking breathing on each other again, you know,
Do you know what's
coughing on each
crazy
other.
is I never realized how much I touch people.
Really? I'm a toucher
So
too.
like
Yeah.
when we finally like, I mean, and not like women, like, or I mean some women like, but not
Yeah.
like
No, just physical. Like you
exclusively.
just like, yeah.
Like men, I like be talking to my friend, like put my arm around his neck.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, buddy. I miss you, man. And, like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like when I tell them like a real serious story, I'm like holding onto their shoulder, and I'm like, man, why do I keep like I can't stop it.
Yeah.
Like,
Same. Like I'll have my mask on, and even like in dance, like, you know, I'm like, when I laugh, I go, ah, and I'll grab someone's arm. And then like sometimes they'll look at me like, girl. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm like,
you forget, right?
yeah,
Like,
I
I don't
forget.
know. Like,
I forget. And like thankfully no one's been like an asshole and like punched me in the face for like touching them, but
I always try to
hard.
imagine like how many strangers I've made like really uncomfortable.
Right?
Like I like really aware now, and like I'll just like rub my friend's like shoulder, and so I'm like, why
Yeah.
do I always do this? And they're like, yeah, you're like that, and I'm like, ugh.
I can definitely you know, be sympathetic in that sense because I'm very physical and like
But you
yeah.
need it though. I feel
I
like.
know.
Yeah.
I like to be that way. It
Do, do,
sucks.
do you live with your partner?
Yeah, right. Well, due to quarantine and pandemic, we were forced to move into each, but it's been going great. It's been going great. We kind of like, you know how everything was like fast paced, fast tracked because of pandemic. So yeah, we live together now.
Yeah. So like, do you ever do that? I do this thing where you ever just like just touch them just to touch them.
So one of my love languages, man, I don't know if you know about the love languages. One of mine is physical touch. So
What's
yeah,
love languages? Can you explain?
oh shit, fuck. I'm like the worst at this stuff because I'm always high, so I forget everything. So yeah, there's 5 love languages, right? I'm sure, and if I don't get it right, people are gonna come for me. There's physical touch, there's like words of affirmation, there's gifts, like giving people gifts, like that's one. Oh my god, physical touch, words of affirmation, giving people like gifts, and I can't think of the last 2. But basically it's like telling people, it's like your way of showing love and like also your way of receiving love, if that makes any sense. So if you're a physical person like me, one of your love languages might be physical touch, because like quality time is another one. Quality time. And the last one will probably come to me as I'm talking. But if you like, some people, like for me, I need to like, and acts of service. Yes,
Oh, nice.
I got it. I got all 5. Acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, and yeah, don't remember. I'm all fucked up.
Yes.
I'm also drinking wine, so there's that.
Wasn't
Oh
gifts
yeah,
one of them?
yeah, the gifts. So like, yeah, so for some people, you know, they want to hear I love you, like, or if, you know, that's like their way of showing like their love. And some people, like, that's the way they like to receive love, you know. But I feel like for me, one of mine and one of my partners is physical touch. So yeah, we're just like that super cheesy couple that, like, you know, eats at dinner and we like hold each other's hand the whole time. It's really corny and disgusting, but yeah, we're like that.
I meant it more like in a weird way. So like what I'll do.
You're like, not that deep, Kim.
So like instead of like cuddling when I'm like asleep and I'm like laying there, I just like to like put a hand on my wife to make sure she's like there.
Do you hold her butt too? Do you hold her butt when you sleep?
Occasionally, but more so like legitimately just like I just want to the presence of another person feels good to me, like, okay. So, you know, because, you know, you ever get like that anxiety and then you like touch somebody else and you're like, we're just people.
Right. Oh, and I feel like people need other people, like, for sure. Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, when you said that, I was like, this motherfucker probably holds his wife's butt when she sleeps, kind of like because that's what the old man, he'll sit there and just hold on my butt while we sleep, and I'm just like, okay, all right. But now our cat will come and like slide in between us and like try to nuzzle us and be that like, no, I'm gonna be in between you guys. So.
Do you know what I do? It might be like a little too. Is there like a line boundaries for this podcast, or can I talk about it?
No.
So like my wife gets on my case about it, but I don't know what I do. I like to like hold myself while I sleep. I don't know why.
Every man loves
It's just
holding their shit. I
you
mean,
just feel good. Like it's just like
I don't get it.
They're safe.
Balls, yay.
They're safe. We live another day, guys, and they do just fall asleep. Like,
Do you
I don't
shave
know.
your balls, Matt?
Do I? No, I do not.
And they're hairy. God.
I try to be honest. Trim and shave are a different thing.
True. I
Shaving's
mean,
kind of weird, I think.
well, if you're prone to like breaking out on your balls, then don't shave them, I guess. But
I have
trim
very
them.
sensitive skin.
That's why. You don't want those sebaceous cysts to come out on like some balls.
I don't even like shaving my face. I just cut it real short.
I'm seeing the gray hairs. My partner has that too. I love it though. Like he started with one, and then as you know, we got 2 years in now. There's like a whole little mess of them because of the stress I give him. I live.
If I shave, I don't have any in my head yet, really. So if I shave, I look like you can't see it. But then,
Oh, okay. I love gray though. I love when men start to get gray or white. It's so.
I like when girls. So like one of my like celebrity, you might not know who she is, but like one of the celebrity crushes, I guess you call it. I like Melissa Villaseñor is like the coolest girl.
I love her.
And she has like a gray streak in the middle of her hair when she doesn't dye it, when she's like not doing SNL and stuff. And
You
so
like you have a crush on her? Did you watch comedy?
She's so cool.
Did you watch Jerry Seinfeld's show?
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Yeah, she's the best.
I've watched that show like millions of times. Like I just like will watch it over and over again. It's so good. And she's so funny and she's so cute.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like everything she does. Her impressions are amazing. Owen Wilson and stuff like that.
So good.
Yeah. She's my favorite. And it's funny because that's actually my wife's maiden name.
What is it?
Villaseñor.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
But
Villaseñor. I love it.
I make jokes because I took away her like beautiful Villaseñor, and she's just a Torres now.
Yeah. She doesn't want to do the whole hyphenated with the last name.
I mean, I guess we could change it, but we already.
Because then you could have that last name too, Matt. You could be a Villaseñor.
Maybe, I guess. It's actually becoming a thing. I've known two guys. No, but it's even crazier. I know a guy who just legit took his wife's last name.
That's so cool. I love that.
But you would do that to Ricardo Fuentes?
And this is something that I've wondered because we do talk about like our future a lot. So like we're gonna, I'm gonna he's not going nowhere. So yeah, I mean, and with Kimberly S. Davis, that's like my stage name, and like I want that to be like a name, like Taraji P. Henson. Like I want that to be the name. So I wonder what I'm gonna do when we like tie the knot, and it's gonna be like, what do I do? Like, do I do Kimberly S. Fuentes, Kimberly S. Davis Fuentes? Like that's fucking long and like unnecessary. So like I don't know. I really don't know.
Have you joined the union yet?
No, Matt. I am a non-union actor because I don't have enough credits from SAG to be SAG yet. So yeah.
So when you join the union, you could just be any name you want. So you could just use your real name, and then legally you could be like Kim Fuentes, but then your stage name it could be like Kimberly S. Davis.
I like that because that's probably what's gonna happen. Because I like love him, and I don't want to be an asshole and like not take his name because that's not the case. It's just the name itself.
Well, tons of famous people do that because they're just getting married, but they need their name because they built that name already. Like.
Okay, that makes sense. It makes sense. Unless you're like Kimberly Kardashian West, where, of course, she's like, I can be a West.
She just wants to steal, take both fames and put them together.
Oh, for sure. She's like, what? I can have a black man's last name? What's up?
If it was just a rich guy who wasn't famous, she wouldn't change her last name.
No, she didn't. She got married. This is her third marriage, I think.
Yeah, she's not.
Third marriage.
She wasn't Kimberly Humphrey or.
No way. And we don't even know the first guy she married's last name. We don't even know who the fuck that was.
Yeah, he was like another football player. I can't think of his last name either.
Was he? He was a football player? The first guy?
Yeah, she was married to a football player, and then Humphreys from the Brooklyn Nets, I think.
Right.
And then, yeah.
He gives me like that. The second guy, Humphreys, he gives me like dumb face. Like he's just like, duh. Like he just gives me like dumb. Doesn't he give you that vibe?
He looks like just like a puppet. Like she just wanted an NBA player husband, and he was there.
Right, he was there, and he was like tall, and like that was it. And he was just like, duh.
He's like the opposite of Kanye, because Kanye is just like exploding with like, I don't even know what you would call it, like creativity and
presence,
existentialism. Like
yeah,
he's just all like I feel like I would have like, I don't know, a stutter after I left talking to Kanye. He's just so deep.
Did you watch the David Letterman Next Guest episode when he was on that shit? Wasn't that so uncomfortable? Like when they got to, yeah.
He's you know how you're talking about like speaking it into like, he's like, just, I'm going to be a billionaire. And he's just a billionaire. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like,
you know, and I respect the fuck out of that. Cause like I love podcasts. I know you, and then I know Matt has a podcast too, guys. And we're going to plug it at the end. So you guys can listen to his podcast too. But I listen to Gary Vee. Do you know Gary Vee's podcast? Gary
no.
Vee. He's like this fucking one of those, he's like a Kanye West. Like he's like one of those like, I'm fucking amazing. I'm going to be a fucking billionaire. Da, da, da.
Oh, that little, he's like a little guy who talks real fast and like, you guys need to go do this. And that guy?
Maybe.
He's mostly inspirational.
He's super inspirational. He built his brand off of like, just telling people like, you're going to be the shit. You're going to be fucking amazing. Da, da, da. But like he's very popular. Like he's a millionaire.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You have to like celebrities, like he has celebrities on all the time on his podcast. Like he's like,
he looks like a little bird or something.
He does look like a little bird. Yeah.
He's
like,
him.
But his story is like, he came from Russia or some shit. He was born there and he like moved here and then like was like, he's like, I started working when I was like 14 with my dad's, you know, liquor store. And then I built myself up to this brand and like, super inspirational guy, but he has that presence where like, I'm just a fucking badass and like, you're just gonna take it. Like, I'm just like, okay, yes, I will take it. So
and it just works.
It does. I think people can sense energy. What was that? I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry. I'm drinking wine. I'm really sorry, Matt. I'm like,
I need to tap into the energy. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard.
I hear you. Oh my God, I had all these questions to ask you.
It even works with actors and comedians. Like, you know, like, where you'll meet an actor or comedian and they're not that great, but they're just so sure of themselves that they're going to go, and then they go and you're like, wow. So you don't want to hate on them, but at the same time, you're like, I just need that confidence they have.
Do you feel like you're going to make it, Matt? Do you feel like
yes.
That? Me too. I feel that from you. I feel that from you.
I mean, if you don't feel like that, you shouldn't be doing.
True. Very true. Like I've always said, like, I don't know what the fuck, like I'm broke as fuck now, like broke as fucking shit. But it's like, I always feel like for some reason I'm going to be broke as fuck for a long time, right? We're going to be broke for a while. And then all of a sudden it's going to switch and I'm going to come up on a lot of money, like a lot of it. And I don't even know where it's going to fucking come from. But then it's just going to like, we're going to go from being poor to being wealthy. And I don't know why. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like I just have that instilled in me. And I just still don't even know the process of how to get there. But I'm like a super spiritual person and I believe in like the universe and God and like putting it out there for the universe. And so I'm like speaking it into existence. Like, and the thing is like, I don't really want money. I want like financial freedom, or like, does that make a thing? Is that like just the freedom to like,
or just freedom in general? Yeah. Money is freedom.
Yes, absolutely. Cause I don't want to be that stingy. I don't want to be a Kardashian. Like that's a lot of fucking pressure to be that rich and famous. Like that's too much. No, I don't want that.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I always would tell people, like, if I ever got something huge where it'd be like in the millions of dollars, I feel like that would take away a lot of drive. Like, no, because like, so now I'll do like anything. But if I had like $10 million, right?
Yeah.
I would just be like, I mean, I would still want to do stuff, but I wouldn't do anything. I would just do like.
What would you do?
I would like, I want to make a movie. And like.
Okay. You'll direct and okay.
But I don't want to do anything else. Like nothing else. If someone was like. Yeah, if somebody was like, "Oh, you want to do like this special?" and I'm like, "I'm done with that small shit. I want to do this." Like,
I love it. And since you said it on this podcast, it's gonna happen, Matt. It's gonna fucking happen. I literally like if I get money, and I've always been. This is so fucking stupid because it's like, girl, why are you scared of this? I've always been scared to win the lottery and win a lot of money, like a lot of it.
Go
like,
broke?
No, because like. Well, okay, come on. How are you going to, like, if you come up and you win the lottery and you win, say, $100 million or something, right? You have to say goodbye to all of your fucking friends and family. Because then again, they're going to be, like, knocking at your door, right? And be like, hey, you know, like, I always had this thought, like, I always felt like you're going to have to find a whole new crew of friends and family to, like, because, like, you need rich friends, because otherwise then you're going to be that rich girl that's friends with everybody else, like, that's friends with, like, you know, all your broke friends. It's like, you know, is that weird? It's fucking weird, right?
No, they say that's a big problem. Like a majority of millionaires, like their family will bring them down and they'll like become poor. I mean, I don't know. I feel like my family's like ghetto enough where I could just be like, no, I'm not giving you anything.
Nah. It's like, but come on, man. You know you have money. You're like, nah, I don't want to give it to you.
I'd be like, I'll probably lie. I'll just be like, nah, I spent it.
I love it.
I spent it all in that movie I made.
You know what? Fuck yeah. You know, and for me, it would be traveling. I would travel the fucking world and I'd record it and I just make
You travel a lot. I hate to keep
Love
taking you
it.
off topic, but man, you travel like a lot. How many countries have you been to?
34, and it's not enough.
Dude.
I
I've been to like
love it.
6 countries in my whole life. That's
Really?
and like I'm like I feel like super like proud of that. And then you're just times a million over there.
Well, mind you, like when I do go like say to like Asia or whatever, and like there's all these little countries that are like next to each other, that's like for me, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna fucking like hit up all these countries next door to each other. That way I can like get more fucking, you know, stamps on my passport and get more like countries under my belt. So that's kind of how I see things.
That's still pretty cool though. Like I would do that. That's awesome.
And I can't wait till we can do this again with COVID. Like I'm just like waiting. I'm just like, fuck, like when can we go? And like I miss it. It
makes
just
you
scared.
appreciate all the things you couldn't do before. I mean, you could do before, and you're like, why did I do this? Like, I could have just did this. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I feel like, and then like I'm just like very against like the patriarchy and like capitalism and stuff because I'm like, you know, like I'm just like fuck that. I'm not gonna like, you know, get a 9 to 5. I'm gonna fucking, you know, hustle and work hard and do a bunch of gig work so I can travel the world and like do it whenever I want. Like that's just kind of like how.
What other country would you live in if you hate capitalism?
I've lived in Australia before and I loved living in Australia, but I can live in Spain. Spain is amazing. I would live in Barcelona. Barcelona is amazing. The food is great. The lifestyle is wonderful. They take naps in the middle of the day. Like that's like the culture. I love it.
You make my answer seem boring. I was going to say Canada. I just want to live in like America light. I just want America with a little less oppression and stuff. That'd be dope.
Amen. That's not a bad answer at all. It's just
I just want like really good healthcare. You ever like have something wrong with you and you're like, man, if I was rich, I would go figure out what this problem is.
Listen, okay, isn't that fucked up? And the thing is, as much as we're looked up to from the like everybody else, like all the other countries, we have the shittiest fucking healthcare out of every fucking country. Like shitty, you know, like they don't give a like it sucks. Like go to Europe, they have like free healthcare. Go to Australia, they have free healthcare. It's like what? We don't have that.
I just think like one of my plans is like I just got to get healthy,
Yeah.
so that I don't have to use it. Like I'm trying to hope that like my age coincides with the progress of our country. So like by the time I reach those years where I need a lot of healthcare, hopefully we fixed it or something. Because if not, I don't know. We could go to Canada. Canada says they want us as immigrants.
I've been to Toronto and I've been to Toronto. I think that's the only place I've been to in Canada. And the only thing, I loved it. It gave me Melbourne vibes. Like it gave me Melbourne, Australia vibes when I was in Toronto. The only thing was it's just fucking cold. It's just fucking cold. And I don't know if I can deal with the cold.
I could deal with the cold if I could get like free cancer surgery and stuff.
Well, maybe that might be the case. You know what? True. I mean, yeah, and I think they're like their prime minister's like dope, and he's like this like super woke like advocate for gay people and all sorts of shit. I'm like, our fucking president's a Cheeto and a piece of shit and a baby, and he won't get out of the fucking office because he lost, and he's like too chicken shit to get out. Like, I can't.
How do you feel about Biden?
I mean, I'm more excited about Kamala. you know,
Kamala's gonna probably. I mean,
right.
If you're listening and you watch this far in the podcast, I assume you're either me or Kim's close friend. I mean, I feel like Kamala's gonna end up being our president.
You know, I hope. I don't want to say it because
you can't say it, right? Yeah.
I don't want to say it, Matt, because I'm just like, ooh, that's kind of problematic. But
that's why I gave the disclaimer because we can't wish any ill will on our president. But I mean, statistically, he's going to be 82 or whatever when he gets out or something like that. Yeah. So like, I mean, she seems like she'd be a dope president. Would she be President Madam Harris or whatever?
Yeah, that'd be
something
crazy. Like that. Yo, for me to live in a time where like I had a father that went through segregation and couldn't drink from a fucking water fountain that said whites only, to having a fucking black woman president, I would be like Let me die in peace. Like, I would love that. Love it. Love it.
Like, I really like all the political part of it, but it's actually way more selfish why I like it. Because I feel like, so me and her would fit into a similar category. So I feel like we have like interests. So the stuff I want will probably happen. That's why I want it. Because I feel like me and a billionaire don't have any of the same interests. Like, so he doesn't care. Yeah, but I feel like Kamala, if she's just like, oh, I'm gonna fix the inner city, I'm gonna fix this, like that's all stuff that's gonna, especially if I have kids or something.
You said like the very practical and very rational response. I'm over here like, she's black and she's, you know,
she's black.
Asian.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If there is a Mexican, Guatemalan, Irish guy president, I'd be like, yeah, get him.
Yeah,
get him.
Go get it. For sure.
He's like super American. I'm like, get him, Mike. Mike Lopez.
Hey, Mike Lopez, yes.
Or Ricardo Fuentes. I'd vote for him.
Yes, Ricardo for everybody. My producer's in the building. Shout out Ricardo.
Yeah. I think he would start running for president at like 42 or 45 or something. So he's close. He could run.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh. Oh my God. He would be like, all right, everyone, we're shutting down. We're gonna smoke weed right now. Fuck out of here.
We'd have to delete all these podcasts.
We would. Because he's a producer. No way. There's no way. I'd be like, oops.
They're like, Mr. President, we saw your wife was wishing that Biden.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, that was all her. I was like,
No, we are not speaking ill will on the motherfucking president-elect, okay? Don't shut me down. I just started this shit.
You're already canceled?
We still need to make it, so please don't come for us. Okay, so you already mentioned, it's so funny, Matt, because we've been kind of like going very like casually talking, but we've actually kind of hit the fucking questions that I had in here without even knowing it. So that's fucking lit.
That's great.
Let's just shout out to us with that, because that's fucking dope.
And if you're watching this and you never met Kim or myself, it's just, for us, this was kind of like a little reunion of like, I mean, we met each other in our prime 20s time, and now we both matured, so we're both like at that next little older, a little wise, little less ignorant, especially me. I used to be more ignorant when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. I feel like me too.
I would, like, if Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff was as popular when we were kids, I'd be canceled already.
All the shit that you said?
Yeah,
just man.
Think about it, man. All the stuff we said out loud, if it was on words online, I'd be like, oh, the scared,
cancel
sad.
Culture. Yeah.
I feel bad for these little youngins.
I do too. You know what? Like, it's real as fuck. Like, we've experienced Blockbuster. You know, like, we've experienced MP3 players, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
internet.
Dial-up internet, the struggles, you know, like.
You know how hard it would have been to send someone a nude back in the day? You'd have to, like, take a picture. How would you even do it? You'd probably.
Email? No, you can't even do that.
You'd have to take a picture and then, like, maybe scan it. And then they would have to, like, because before with pictures, you couldn't just open them how you do now. So we would have to, like, download them. It would be a huge ordeal.
And then you get the email, and then it's just like slowly loading, and then you see half the titty, and then you see the whole titty. And then...
You know what you probably forgot about, but I remember because I was talking about it. Do you remember how to look up a website before Google? Because Google only came in 2006.
You're right. No, I don't know how to look up shit.
What you had to do is you had to know the exact website that you had to like have got it from somewhere. So you had to type it in exactly. So what people used to do is, so if you want to look up porn, right? So this is how like porno websites became so like rich, because in order to own the website, you would have to put what people would guess. So if you were looking for porn, you would go to www.titties.com and just hope it was porn. So the guy who owned that, if it was like one of the most popular ones, he became super rich because people wanted that name.
Stop. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, so you could keep selling it and selling it. Yeah, so like unless you actually memorized, because it was really, I mean, the addresses are easy now because you just Google them, but they were hard before. Like you had to know one, or someone would come and tell you like you should go to this, and they'd have to write it down, like go to www.meatholes.com. That was a real one.
Yeah, meatholes. Oh Lord, you are already slipping into like the next segments, into medicate, masturbate, and medicate. Like,
oh man, here
right.
We go.
Hold on, I did have one thing that I'm super curious about because I don't think I've ever asked you, and this is my last question to you before we move on to the next segment. you moved from Chicago. So you're in Chicago now. We're both in Chicago, but you moved from Chicago to LA, and then you moved back to Chicago. Now, tell me your experience with that. Why did you do that?
I think I have a good reason. So I lived in LA for like 2 years. I just like, so I really love LA. LA would probably be one of like, it would be like a second home to me. Like I know everyone, a lot of people there and like the streets and stuff, but I'm just like a Chicago person. It's actually a weird dynamic. Like I would probably live in LA again if there's some good opportunity, but LA people and Chicago people are just so different. And,
Really?
it was just weird to me. So like, if I could give you an example is like a lot of times, have you ever heard like, well, you travel a lot. You ever heard like people will say that Midwestern people are stereotypically too nice?
Yes, I've heard
So
some people, yeah, say that.
it was so extreme that women would think I was hitting on them, but I was just being like
Oh.
super polite.
Why did I just stop seeing your face? Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, so women would think I was hitting on them, but I was just being super polite. Like if I held the door open for a girl one time, and she told me like no thanks.
Okay,
I was like,
wow. You know what? And
Yeah.
you're not like, I had a friend. Shout out to Joy. She's gonna be on the podcast probably soon. She moved from Chicago to LA, and she told me in the beginning she was having a really hard time with adjusting, because she told me she's like, I don't fucking like it here. Da 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 da. Like she was planning to move to a different city because she was like, she's still there now, so I'm assuming she adjusted. But yeah, I have it. That's not the first time I've heard it. So that makes me scared though, because I'm like, I eventually want to move out there, but I'm like, fuck, maybe not.
I mean, I would do it again. It'd be different now, especially because I was a lot younger. I think I was 26. So I feel like now that you're older, you could easily function without other people, I guess. So like,
Okay.
I would say like Ricardo, like if you brought Ricardo with you, and like you guys would just you could do what you want to do, you know?
Yeah, and fuck everybody else.
Hold on.
Interesting.
Say it again.
No, I said it, and I said, okay, yeah, and then fuck everybody else. So like, you could just be like,
yeah, or just like, there's actually a lot of Chicago people there. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people in Chicago moving to Colorado and Denver and stuff, and I'm just like, man.
Well, a really crazy thing is a lot of LA people are just moving to random places, like
really?
Utah. Like Kanye.
Yeah, what does he live now? Wyoming?
Yeah, Joe Rogan lives in Texas.
Yes, he lives in Austin. Yeah.
Well, even now with a podcast like this, we could do this anywhere. Like
we can do it anywhere. Yeah, very true. Very true.
You could even be in like somewhere disgusting, like Gary, Indiana.
Yes, Gary, Indiana. Speaking of Indiana, fuck Indiana, because they're racist as fuck out there. So, anyways,
I just never liked Indiana as a kid. I've always hated Indiana. They're like the worst state in the union.
Ugh. Bad, like I don't know if they're like kind of like as bad as Florida, but Florida's pretty bad too. But man,
if we have a civil war, we should give them to the South.
Oh yeah, they can take it. Yeah, please. Yeah, I know, right? They're very southern, even though they're right next to us. It's like, how did this happen? Like,
well, you'll see Confederate flags over there, and I'm like, you're Indiana. Like, you don't know you're Indiana.
I had a super racist thing happen to me when I was filming. I filmed this like low budget like series, and we filmed in Hobart, Indiana, and it was like at a gym, and the gym owner straight up like would not let me fucking like touch the like equipment. And I was like, he's like, no, you can't use it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like everybody, like all of everybody else there was using it. It just was me. And I was like the only black person there. He was like, no, you can't. And I straight up was so pissed. But then like the producer and the director were like, no, Kim, please, we need to use this gym. We need it for this show. Like, please be nice to them. I'm like, this motherfucker racist as fuck. And you just gonna let him be racist? All right, whatever. Like, fuck you. So yeah.
You ever have someone so racist it's like shocking?
Yeah, it was a while, because I've been living in my little bubble of Chicago for a little bit, and like I wasn't experiencing racism like on that level all the time. So like when that happened in Hobart, I was like, damn, wow, well, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it used to be weird. Like, I mean, and like I don't know how you were, but I feel like when we were younger too, people, especially when you had like mixed groups, you had like black guys and white guys and Latino guys, we'd all make jokes that would be inappropriate today, right? So then you would think, oh, that's racism. But then when you experience like a real racism where like someone hated you, you're like, ooh, like that's some real racism you
It
got
hits
there.
you, right? You're like,
Yeah.
shit.
Because you're used to that soft city racism where you're saying inappropriate things with people and like you should like I mean stuff you can't say anymore, but just stuff. And now like when someone's actually like, oh, they don't want me here, like, oh, this is
they
messed
like
up.
that little like that tiptoeing around being racist, but they like the microaggressions of like just being like shitty as a person, but then to have it be like shot like
in your
punched in your face. Wow, you're just like, damn, whew.
Yeah,
sucks,
like even I mean I don't want to get all off topic and political, but even with like current everything how it is now, when people are just straight up don't like tiptoe around it, like I don't want Mexicans to do that, and you're like Mexicans, like, that's a huge group of people you just said.
A huge group that is like built like literally this is Mexicans' land. Let's just talk about that. Like
that's pretty
what?
That's pretty weird. I don't know, but
out of here.
But it's made me examine myself, stuff that like I would jokingly say or like me and my friends would say. I just don't do it anymore just because I feel like then that feeds like other stereotypes.
True.
Because I used to make jokes about everybody, like even Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. I mean, we just all used to joking. I mean, like we just saw a kid like that. Yeah. But now it's like, man, we shouldn't kid because then some people are going to be like, let's go with it.
And you know what? And you know what, Matt? Like, I have my small girls group that, and all of them, like they're all mainly Hispanic, they're all Mexican or Puerto Rican, but they're all Hispanic. And I would always be like the only like Black girl, I'm not Hispanic. So, and during this pandemic, we actually had a really beautiful, like heart to heart, like our group chat that we had, we actually got really open and honest. And it was like really refreshing because I got extra love from that from like my community of like friends, but like they got to like be more understanding of how like it is. And it's like, because all the little microaggressions and all, and you know how it is, what I'm saying? Like I've experienced racism from Mexicans, like straight up racism from Mexicans. I dated this guy in like, when I was in like beginning of college, and his mom and dad, they were Mexican as fuck, didn't speak English, like hated me for no reason because I was Black, hated me. And so it was really nice and refreshing because I got to kind of like talk to them in a sense of like, and be more on a level playing field. Whereas in the past, I didn't feel comfortable like bringing up these issues and addressing certain things. So I kind of liked that. Like I really appreciated that the pandemic and like the whole George Floyd movement, like really kind of pushed these conversations. Like I have a sister-in-law that's Italian, and I told her stories of racism, and she was just like fucking like floored. She's like, whoa, and like she was like, I want to learn more. She's like, she has a half Asian baby, half Italian, half Asian baby. She's like, I want to learn this, like, and I want you to teach my daughter this, my niece. And I was like, thank you. Like I cried. I was so moved. I was like, this is amazing. Like it was great. So yeah,
I would like joke. Sedano probably, right?
Yeah, I love him.
I was like joking around with him, like so I mean, just being honest, like, I mean, the whole thing we were just talking about, we all used to make like racial jokes with each other, and we thought it was cool. And like sometimes like, back and forth, we'd like even like roast each other, and we thought it was funny. But now like even like voting Republican has a whole different like meaning to it. And then like, so before it used to be protect, now it's like you're like almost drawing the line. So like my nephew's Black and like my stepdad's Black. So like I feel like I had to come to a point where like, I mean, you have to grow up. And like,
true.
So because even like now, like stuff that I would have kid about 10 years ago, if my little nephew heard, I'd feel like a piece of shit. Like, so it's just like, yeah. So even then, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I can still make fun of Puerto Ricans.
Hey, but I got a Puerto Rican right over here.
I mean, I feel like Ricardo would be a good sport.
True. He's like the whitest Puerto Rican too. He's so funny. I love him.
Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are like these weird like cousins that hate each other.
True. It's like Americans and Canadians. It's like Americans and Canadians. We always make fun of Canadians, but yet we low-key want to move there and have their lives. So. Well,
I would always tell that when Puerto Ricans and Mexicans will talk like trash about each other. I'm like, anyone who's not Mexican and Puerto Rican, you guys look like the same people.
True. They're like, fuck all you Mexican, and then you're all Mexicans, right? Like, fuck all you Mexicans. Like, right. True.
So you think when if they ever got to do their roundup of the Mexicans, they'd get some Puerto Ricans in there.
We're gonna kill all of you guys. Like, fuck it, we don't care. Like,
some Puerto Ricans look real Puerto Rican, but some Puerto Ricans look real Mexican. So you never know. Like,
very true. Very true.
Even your group, like, you can't tell who's who in your group.
No, everyone. No. I mean, we have Costa Rican, we have Puerto Rican, we have
Mexican.
Senya's like you. Senya's a mutt. Senya has like Irish, Puerto Rican and Mexican in her. So
Yeah, I feel like when people are mutt, they look more like Puerto Ricans.
true.
Because that's what Puerto Ricans are. Puerto Ricans are like
Yeah.
a mix of everything. Yeah.
That's why I always fucks with Puerto Ricans. Like I never felt any sort of like racism against Puerto Ricans because I always looked Puerto Rican. So like my partner literally was like, I thought you were Puerto Rican.
Have you ever gotten Dominican?
I've gotten Dominican, I've gotten Puerto Rican, I've gotten Cuban, I'm like, Haitian, I've gotten
I don't fit in with both sides. I don't fit in. Like the Puerto Ricans, I always think I'm Mexican, and Mexicans like always think I'm Puerto Rican. So
really?
I think I just barely don't look like a Mexican enough to be with the Mexican. I'm like Selena. We're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans, and we're not American enough for the Americans. So I don't.
Shout out to your T-shirt that you're wearing. Yes.
Oh, Selena.
Yes, love
it.
When
I bought this at the store.
I love that shirt. I like want it. It's sickening. I love that shirt.
I had the other ones, but I tried to get like the rare ones when I see it. Like
okay. I have a ramen shirt on because I love ramen, Japanese ramen. Shout out to Japanese ramen.
I think this is actually a woman's shirt.
It probably is because I want to wear it, but it
doesn't bother me.
I love it. I love it.
My shoulders fit in here.
Yeah, you're like, this works. Matt, you're awesome. I seriously can talk to you like all fucking night, but it's like already getting close to
we just stopped talking about the podcast. I'm like, so what are you eating for dinner?
I know, right? Seriously. Well, so I pretty much, you answered all the questions that I had to answer. We just kind of did them in a very like lax and very like conversational way. So I appreciate that. But we're going to move on to the next segment because, we're going to get shut down soon. So before we do that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we are back. So we're going to move on to the meditate, masturbate, and medicate segment. Matt, what do you choose?
Medicate, masturbate, or meditate?
Yeah.
I've tried a little bit of meditating, but I'm not too big into that. Medicating is kind of hard, I guess. Alcohol and marijuana. Probably masturbate. It's probably.
Yes, masturbate. Well, we already dived a little bit in. You kind of schooled us on the way porn used to work back in the days when we didn't have the internet. So thanks for that, the little tidbit. So yeah, masturbating is like essential in life. You're a man, you're married. I have a partner. This is super uncomfortable for us to talk about with each other, but let's do it anyways. What are you masturbating to? What do you do? Like, what do you like to do when you're masturbating? Do you light a candle, Matt? Do you like get in the shower? Is it real sexy?
I think it's like really utilitarian, if that's the correct word. It's like an insulin shot or something. I just need to so I can keep going.
Oh my god! So it's like a chore. It's like you gotta get it done.
More people should be like that. Like some people are ashamed about it, but I feel like you just got to get it done. Like so then you function better, right? I feel like you get that little bit of serotonin going on for the day, and you're just like you sleep better. You can sleep on your stomach.
I feel like men, it's like more essential for men. Like you guys need to like get that nut off so you can get the day started. That's like always been a thing I feel like for men. Whereas women, like we like to like set a mood, or that's if women are admitting like that they actually do it. Cause like, some women don't even fucking masturbate.
That's sad. That's sad that society has repressed women so much that they lie about it.
Yeah.
Men used to lie about it in the 90s. Remember that?
No, really?
Oh yeah, so I hate to bring up Sedano twice, but
shout out to you, Sedano.
When we were in high school, some kids were like talking about masturbating. I'm like, oh yeah, I masturbate all the time, and they're like, what? Everyone just started making fun of me, and I was like, you guys are all lying, and they're like, no, everybody. Well, I don't think Sedano didn't say anything, but everybody was just like, no, we'll never do that. That's gross. Like you're a pervert.
Well, how old were you, Matt? Were you like 10 and like admitting that you touched yourself?
Like around 13 or 14.
Still really young. I feel like that's like a young kids like that.
Kids now admit it more.
True. Well, let's just be real. 14-year-olds are getting like surgeries that look like fucking Kardashians now. Come on. Like I feel the internet's changed everything. Like there is no fucking like childhood. I feel so bad for these kids. I feel so bad.
Yeah, because like I know people would say like you feel bad for them, but sometimes in some ways like I feel like it evens out. Like everything they have that's like better, sometimes it hurts them and sometimes it's like beneficial. Like if you talk to little kids now, they know so much. It's crazy. So like I feel like I remember being so gullible. Remember like people would make up stuff and like about like sex or whatever, and you would just believe it because you couldn't look it up. So
Very
like,
true. Very true. You couldn't
yeah,
Google it back then. You couldn't just, Google.
yeah, because I remember. I mean, I'm not gonna. Well, these people, I don't even know if they're alive anymore. But like, some of my friends, I remember when we were little kids, we were like talking about. They're like, "Oh, did you do it with a girl yet?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "I banged like 12 girls already." But I remember,
Oh,
like,
you did, huh?
yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, "Wow!" Like in my head, like, man, I need to bang 12 girls. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, the little kid was lying to me.
You little fucker, he was lying to me. Like,
There's
wait,
no
let me check his Instagram real quick. Let me see if he is slaying these bitches now. Like, yeah, nowadays, like, there's
Yeah.
receipts. People can like
Show me a
literally
picture.
find out shit.
Yeah, so like I think we were like 12 or something. There's no way he banged that many. Like,
There's no way. What the fuck? Who the fuck is this kid? 12?
I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe or that, or he was the coolest kid, and I'm really doubting him. I don't know.
You're like, he was getting mad pussy back in the day. Damn.
How is he doing it?
Yeah, you're like, teach me your ways. Yeah, no, I feel like, and I obviously with everyone being home, I mean, shit, we saw that one guy, fuck, I forgot the name of it. Did you see that whole story about that one guy that got caught jerking off at the corporate like Zoom meeting or some shit? Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, it was on
No.
Desus and Mero. Do you like Desus and Mero? Are you familiar with Desus and Mero?
No, but I want to see this video.
New Yorker reporter Jeffrey Tubman has been suspended after getting caught masturbating on a Zoom call. And he's from the New Yorker, so you know that jerk was dry as hell.
Oh my God, Matt. Like, yeah, I forgot the name of the dude, but it's like this big corporate dude, and it went viral. Like, if you Google it, the articles are out there. And I guess he thought that the Zoom camera wasn't on him or it was off or whatever, but he just started jerking it off in the middle of a Zoom meeting, and they were all like, yo, chill. Like, so yeah, he had to, get that insulin shot, so to speak.
That's crazy.
And he had to do it then because it was really dire, I guess. Like, the fuck? Like, I mean, I don't know, the levels of comfort that we feel now in our own spaces, because I guess we're all just in our own homes all the time, in a sense. So, but that guy, I was like, okay, yeah, he's fired. So yeah, you can't.
That's crazy.
He had to just get one. He just had to get a nut off real quick,
Well, in the future, they probably won't fire him because then we'll be more understanding. It'll be like,
right. They're like, oh, it's okay.
Oh,
yeah.
He's having his time. Let's mute him.
Right. They turn off their cameras. They don't even they like respect his like privacy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That'd be great.
Nowadays,
I hope he didn't lose his job.
I think he did. I don't know. I'm so like, I don't know the name because I watched it on Desus and Mero and it was on Showtime, and I've heard the story, like it went viral it was on the Shade Room or something, but I was like, yo, dude, is it that serious? Do you need to bust a nut right now on the Zoom?
Maybe
he got off on the fact that like people were watching him though. Maybe that was
I think he just didn't know and he thought he like turned his screen off or something.
But like, yeah, but then it's like, you're just sitting there. It's like, get up and go to the bathroom, be like, oh, excuse yourself. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. And then just go and like relieve yourself in the bathroom. Like, the fuck? Like, Matt's got his lotion, if you guys are watching on YouTube.
This is about to be the most popular episode of your podcast.
Yes. I love it.
This is actually very unsexy lotion. This is for rough and bumpy skin.
Oh, yeah. That's not sexy. CeraVe? I'd never even heard of that. The fuck?
It's a medicated. I get dry hands.
Okay. Well, it is wintertime, so yeah.
That's that old man thing right there.
That old man thing. Matt's got a chapped penis, so he's got to have that extra.
Like on the little lips, like on a person.
You're just like, all right, yeah, I got it. I can't. We're like, that was great. I think that was enough for the masturbate segment because you are hilarious, Matt. I seriously loved chatting with you. Thank you so much for that. And I want to move it on to the quote of the day. So I chose this because I think you would appreciate this too, because it kind of like pertains to me and you and our career and like where we're going in our future and all that stuff. So here's the quote of the day. Every great dream begins with the dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach the stars to change the world. And that's by Harriet motherfucking Tubman. Shout out to her because she is, the dream a bitch of, like, I mean, she fucking, saved us Black people. So, But yeah, I figured, we're dreamers. We're not only dreamers, but we're speaking it into existence. I figured that would be very cohesive to kind of me and you.
That was very inspirational.
Right? I'm trying to inspire these people. I'm trying to inspire, us. Matt, you were fucking so great. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks. You too. You're awesome.
I really appreciate it. So like, tell the people how they can find you, because I'm sure everyone's gonna want to find you.
When Kim puts this podcast up wherever, I mean, you could just, I'm one of her friends or whatever, but if you want to look up my podcast is on Apple iTunes and all that stuff. I've done like 1 million episodes of it. It's the 15-minute break. And then it's also on YouTube. I have like some weird, like, they're really weird, like video interviews. And like, I mean, I've challenged somebody to like a race on a skateboard while we ate pizza, and like a bunch of weird stuff like that.
Oh, I like that.
But I mean, if you just follow Kim on there, you just look for my thing and then we could do the thing. But
I will put all of this in the show notes so you guys can follow him through that too. And then what's your Instagram? Twitter.
Matt T0621. And then if that's like a Marine whatever, but or you can just follow me through Kim. I'm probably one of the few Matts. So like that'd be easy. Or there's probably a lot of Matts, isn't there?
Probably a lot of Matts, yeah. I have no idea. I don't even know who the fuck. I don't really go through my followers like that. But no, I mean, yeah, people need to find you. So I will put all of your tags and I will put all this in the show notes and then your Twitter and everything like that, so people can find you. Again, Matt, you were so funny. You're amazing. I would love to have you back one day because it was really good time chatting with you. And thank you just for your, thank you for your clean and transparency and just kind of like just shitting and talking and, not shitting. Oh my God, I am drunk. I've drank.
That's good.
Wine.
I have my sleepy time tea, so I'll be asleep.
Oh my God, yes. I'm going to drink that after that. I usually have tea, man. I don't know why. I think I was just trying to get like funny for you because I know you're going to be funny too.
It's just one of those days.
Just one of those days, But you guys keep a lookout for Matt Torres because honestly, he's so funny. I can see him, being, like I said, in a movie soon. And if we both win, the lottery, we're both going to, make our own movie. So yeah, right. Keep that in mind. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us today. And I will see you guys next week. Say bye, Matt.
Bye guys. Bye, Ricardo. See you later.
Say bye. Bye, producer Rick. Thank you guys. All right. I'll have a good day. Bye. Kimbo out.
Brought to you by the Rick Dog Network. Well, shoot the damn dog.